Hi, everyone. This is George Cow. Welcome to this free business coaching call. So this is something that I hope to be doing on a monthly basis where, as long as there's enough interest, I'm here to answer your questions, your business and marketing questions. And for those of you who don't know me very well, I have been a business teacher, coach, mentor for 7 years now. This is my 7th year, I should say. And I've been making a full-time living in the past 7 years doing this. I love it, absolutely love it. I have seen a lot of the transitions in the sort of business and online marketing world over this time. And I have coached over 1,000 students and clients in my programs. And so I am here to help you. I made a decision a couple of years ago, 2 years ago now, to start giving away all of my best content. I used to make a full-time living selling my information. And it's interesting, my wife is currently starting her own coaching practice. And not surprisingly, she's looking at all these different, how to market your practice types of programs. And I just look at them, and now with my perspective, I look at them with such skepticism, because a lot of the people that are selling information, oh, you'll get this in this module, you'll get that in that module, it's only $9.97. They're not talking $9.97 here. They're talking $1,000 for some information. I used to sell my information for $2,000. The stuff that I'm giving away for free now in my daily videos and in my mind maps and in my online, right now I have just one free online course on LinkedIn, but basically all my information is available for free now. And I really think that I really encourage everyone, especially in business, because the economy so needs it. Those of us who are teaching business, if we can, to be giving away as much as we can so that we can help as many people as we can. And now I know that that's not for everyone. I still have some clients who sell information, and that's their life path, that's their calling right now, and I help them do it faithfully. So it's not selling information is all bad. It's just that right now I'm called to model a very radical way of giving everything away that I used to be selling, and creating even better stuff, and also creating opportunities to help people live for free. And I do this once a month. I also have co-working sessions just about every day, Monday through Friday. So you might want to check those out as well. You should go to Facebook and search virtual co-working, or go to Our Highest Work and look for the event page there. So anyway, I'm here to answer your questions. And there have been quite a number of questions submitted. So I'm just going to start kind of going down the line, the ones that have been voted. So if you haven't yet voted on the questions that you'd love to have answered, please go ahead and vote them up. And I'd love to take your questions. And by the way, thanks for chatting as well. Those of you who are here live, it's great to see your chats. And yeah, and thank you, Zuzka. I was saying that the virtual co-working sessions are really great. She's a regular participant there, and we get a lot done as coworkers. So, all right, let me go ahead to the first question. Actually, you know what? I think we've got a live video person here. And it's Janaki. Is that right? Hi, Janaki. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh, I can't hear you, Janaki, if you're trying to speak. But Janaki, I'm going to answer your questions since you're hello, Janaki. Are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Great. Welcome to you.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
So your question. Oh, Janaki, I'm actually hearing some feedback. Can you turn down the volume a little bit? Or,
Yes.
yeah, that'd be great. And or if you have earphones to plug in, that might be helpful too. Yeah. Oh, and I see that I can actually invite other users onto the screen too. So I'll do that when it's your turn. Those of you who have a question.
see if this works.
All right. Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Oh, I can't hear you now.
Yeah.
Oh, now
Can you
I can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. Okay, great. So, Janaki, your question is about let's see here. Your question is about ideal clients. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've coached for a number of years off and on,
Mhm.
and I still am struggling with finding my right client. Who do I want to coach? Because I've coached everyone,
Yes.
but I can't market like that.
Yes. Well,
So,
thank you for that question because I know a lot of people struggle with it. I'm just going to mute your audio briefly, and you can always come back on. Okay, so here's the thing about ideal clients is that there's different phases in our business, okay? And our business tends to be, just a second here. We tend to start off being broad. We coach a lot of people. And then we find that over time, now this is the key, if we observe and take notes about whom we are helping the best, and this is key, if you observe and take notes about, out of all the people that you've coached, if you could pick out the top 10 people who have gotten the most out of your coaching and that you really enjoyed working with, write down their names, and you will probably notice that there are important commonalities in your clients, in these top 10 clients. Maybe they are of a certain age range. So for example, I have people who have coached people in all age ranges, but then they tend to work best maybe with people who are in their 40s and 50s, for example. Or maybe others work best with people who are in their 20s. So look at the top 10 people you've worked with that you most enjoy. What is their commonality in terms of age range, if there is any? Or maybe it's a particular, maybe it's either men or women that you particularly work well with. Or maybe it's a certain profession. Or maybe it's a certain passion that they have. Or maybe or there could be a certain problem or set of problems that you really love helping them with, that you really are good at. So you don't have to define your ideal clients based on a particular gender or a particular age range. Those are common sort of demographics, but you don't have to. You can define them based on the commonality of problems or issues, or the commonality of their passions. Janaki, I'm going to bring you back on and, in terms of your audio, and see if you have anything you want to add to that.
A certain passion.
Hi, Janaki.
Or maybe or there could be a certain problem.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second here. Hi, Janaki. Are you? Let me see if I can unmute you. Oh, okay. I cannot unmute you. Maybe you can unmute yourself. Maybe I can't. You know what? This is. I haven't. There you go.
oh, there you go. Okay. So that's a good start, and I'll have to do some work around it and think back.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm wanting is to be really crystal clear about who my ideal client is.
Yeah.
And right now I'm like mucky and in quicksand.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
do that exercise that I suggested, and see if that helps you. The other thing that's helpful to note is, out of all the people you've worked with, I'm just going to mute for a second here. Out of all the people you've worked with, who are the 10 people that you really don't think are your ideal clients? Who are the 10 people that maybe really didn't connect well with you, with your services? And write down if there's any commonalities among them. That can be really helpful to say, these are not my ideal clients. And if you keep paring away, oh, my ideal clients are not that, my ideal clients are not that, not that, not that, not that, eventually you'll come to closer who your ideal clients are. So this is the one method. It's the top 10 clients that you love working with, top 10 clients you didn't love working with, and then see the commonalities in each group, and therefore that helps you to see whom you want to work more with and whom you want to work less with. Okay, that's really, that can be really helpful. The other method that that comes to mind for me is to look at your niche mates, your competitors, you might say. I like to say niche mates. The people who are doing the kind of thing that you want to be doing or that you are doing. And if you go to their website and if you look at their testimonials, right? Client testimonials. Try to identify what are the commonalities among their client testimonials. You see you see that? So it's sort of like you're looking at your mirror image, someone else who has a very similar business as you or similar type of service, and say, okay, look at what kind of people are really benefiting from this type of service. And you start listing out the people. You can look them up on LinkedIn or look these people. Oftentimes there's names, right, attached to the testimonial. You can look up those people on LinkedIn or on Facebook. Maybe those people have a website, and you start to try to identify what the commonalities are. So I hope that's helpful, Janaki. I do want to move on, but please let me know, maybe in the comments area, whether that was helpful, and I want to thank you for being here. So, all right. Next question I want to answer is from Rokia, and I'm going to also invite Rokia onto the screen if she wants to. Rokia's question is, how do we settle a coaching or consulting offer? What are the things to take into account? Okay, so so if I'm interpreting this question right, it's like you have an offer that you want to make to your clients, and how do you know you're making the right offer if it's, you know, yeah, if you're being smart about it. So a couple of things to consider. One is the length of time that you're going to be working with the client. A lot of people work with clients, whether they're a therapist or a coach or a consultant, counselor, they work on a session-by-session basis, and that's fine maybe in the beginning, but when anytime possible, I know actually this is not possible with therapists. Their code of ethics doesn't allow packaged sessions, is what I hear. But coaches and consultants can. You can package up a session saying, okay, I work with clients in 3-month engagements or 6-month engagements or 12-month engagements. Now I'll just tell you my personal story real quick. I have worked with clients from 3 months all the way to 12 months, and I've done 12 months several times, and I've done 3 months several times. And just to give you a sense of what I think, well, what works for me is next year I'm going back to 3-month engagements, because I find that for me 3-month engagements allows me to be much more focused, both me and the client, to say, okay, we've got 3 months to get some really good work done. It's kind of like in our virtual co-working sessions. We've got 1 hour at a time to get good work done. And with that kind of constraint, it kind of liberates some power within the human mind and within that relationship to really make progress. So I recommend you enroll clients into 3-month engagements or 6 or 12. Try 3 months first and see how that works for you. If you find that that's too short, try 6 months. And then if that's too short, try 9 months or a year. Okay, so length of time, it's really helpful. Second one is the pricing, and I know someone else has a question, and I'll kind of go into pricing in that other question. But the question is the pricing a true win-win for both of you? Do you feel really good about the pricing, and does the client feel really good about the pricing? Now, the client will feel good about the pricing if you clarify that the offer is really important and valuable there for them. So whenever you're making an offer for the client, you always want to ask questions to find out what's important for them, and then talk about the parts of your offer that really matter to them, because your offer can be redescribed, can be explained differently to many different people. The benefits of it, lots of benefits, right? So how do you describe the benefits that really they care about? How do you describe the features that they really care about? So shape the offer so that it's a really interesting offer for them, and so that the price they are happy to pay for. Let's see here. Also, do you have any requirements for your client? So, for example, when I do my program next year, I'm going to have requirements for my clients to participate in the community to say, all right, I want you to write a question or an update once a week in our private client group, and respond, briefly to 2 other people's questions or something like that. So it's like, do you have some kind of requirement? I know for a lot of you, you're not creating client communities, you're just working one-to-one with a client, but do you have a requirement for them? So you might want to say, okay, I require for my clients to work with me, I require that you check in over email with me once a week. So maybe you talk with them once every 2 weeks, and then in between periods, you can require them some kind of email report, and you might want to give them a form to fill out to say, okay, answer these 5 questions in your weekly report, or these 3 questions. So having some kind of requirement that will help the client stay engaged, it can be very helpful to create a powerful coaching offer. And finally, do you have an evaluation period? Evaluation period. Some people call this a guarantee period. So maybe they start working with you and you find that it's not the best fit, or they find that it's not the best fit. How long can they decide to keep working with you, or how long can you decide to keep them on or not? So for me, with a 3-month engagement, it's definitely 2 weeks is a good evaluation period. So I hope that's helpful, Rokia. Let me know in the comments section if that is, and thank you for your question. Okay, next question is from Lure, and Lure can come onto the screen if you want. Lure wrote that her question is about sharing video. Now, if you've been watching some of my content, you know that I do a video Monday through Friday. I do a lot of video sharing business tips and things, and so I definitely have learned a lot from this process. And Laura says, how much should we share in terms of personal information or personal process? Dealing with the judgments and perceptions of others. When is it a good thing and when is it not? Okay. Let me give you a general rule about sharing content online. And this may sound counterintuitive. The more vulnerable you are willing to be, the more you will find that your audience connects with you and really resonates with you. So be as vulnerable as you can. Now, having said that, there's a caveat. There is vulnerability, and then there's oversharing. Okay, I think it's a very fine line between being vulnerable and real and human and oversharing. But I will say that what helps me is I'm vulnerable when I feel like my vulnerability adds to the point I'm trying to make in my content. So, for example, when I talk about my story of how I used to be so focused on money in my business, and I even say how much money I've made in my business. I mean, a lot of people aren't willing to share that, but I'm vulnerable not just because I want to flaunt, I'm sharing that to make a dramatic point that now I have made a change in my business, and I purposely limit the commercialization of my time. I'm making a lot less money, but I'm still making enough. Okay, another example. I know that probably wasn't the best example, but another example was my very best Facebook posting ever. This Facebook posting got hundreds of likes, hundreds of comments, and that Facebook posting was 5 words. I did this, I think, 3 years ago, and I wasn't planning on having it go viral. It was just 5 words. It was very real. It just kind of came in the moment, and I said, mildly depressed. Any recovery tips? 5 words. Mildly depressed. ... Any recovery tips? ? And you might think, well, gosh, George, someone of your stature, you are you're trying to create this online presence and to be an authority for people, and how can you tell people that you're mildly depressed? And it was all lowercase too, you know, like very real and human. And people chimed in. People just poured forth their love and their support and their encouragement, and not just for me, but others who are saying, "Man, I'm totally there with you. I feel this way a lot of times too, and here's what I do." And people pour forth their stories, and they're helping each other out, and that was amazing. That was just such a heartwarming experience. And I find that whenever I have shared vulnerably, you know, whether it's about you know, my own weaknesses, people really resonate. I mean, when I'm willing to share, people really resonate. But again, I'm sharing it in service of a particular teaching. So when I said mildly depressed, any recovery tips, I was inviting positive ideas to get out of a situation. So I think oversharing happens when people just dump their negativity and their depression on social media or in video. And yes, you will find some watchers and viewers who enjoy that, which I don't think is the healthiest thing. But if you can share it saying, I have felt this, you know, this weakness, I felt this temptation, I felt this darkness and this negativity in my life. And what I found was helpful was this. Or I'm still going through this darkness and negativity and temptation or whatever it is, and this weakness.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
You've been trying to speak. But,
whoops.
Janaki,
Whoa. Okay. So I find that when I share what I'm still going through, and then I invite people to say, have you felt the same way? And what are you doing about it? Or simply, do you connect with that? And let's find a way through together. Then it's no longer oversharing, but then it's building a community. So I hope that's helpful to help that distinction between vulnerability, which is a very, very good thing online if you can be. And I'll tell you, it takes courage. Try being a little bit vulnerable first and see what happens. And then you'll find that if you share it, especially with your social media friends, you're going to find an outpouring of support, right? And then you'll have the courage to then be even more vulnerable and so forth. But always do it in service of transformation. Hope that's helpful. Okay. Next question is from Elaine, and I know Elaine is here. So Elaine, I'm going to bring you on. Hopefully, actually, you can unmute yourself, I think, because I don't know if I can unmute you. I'll try to unmute yourself.
See.
There you go. Yes. Hi.
Work?
Yes, that works.
Okay. Am I getting echo? Because I'll put my earbuds on.
Oh, no, yeah, this sounds fine right now.
Okay, good. I apologize for the camera because the camera's broken and I can't adjust it to stop doing this following.
Oh, that's okay.
It's making me crazy.
Yeah. Looks fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, you want to voice your question, or would you like me to read what you wrote?
Why don't you read what I wrote? I'm
Sure.
not sure if I can.
Oh, yeah. No problem. So, Elaine, you wrote that you've been treating your business as a hobby. And now, how many of us can relate to that, right?
Right.
You changed your focus from project and event management after the economy dropped a few years ago and decided to pursue your passion for holding powerful conversations.
Yeah.
And you're finding yourself doing it for free, and you're resistant or you're hesitant about charging for it, basically. And then you have some questions about setting the fees for your service.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else you want to say about that, or that's...
I think that's pretty much it, because the other piece I would add is that because it's my passion,
yeah,
I can't not do it. Not making money is not good enough reason not to do it. Right.
Ah, brilliant. Beautiful, beautiful. So I love hearing that, because really the most true livelihood that we can create is one that you, just like you said, I can't not do this calling, this work. Right. It's a thing I'm brought here to do. And if we can keep doing it, so here's the key, it's basically your passion project.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep doing it, oh, and I am hearing a little bit of echo now, so maybe the earbuds, or try muting them. So if you keep doing your passion project, inevitably two things will happen. One is that you will get more and more skilled at it. Actually, three things, I'll say. One is you'll get more and more skilled at it. Second thing is you're going to make more and more connections to others who do that kind of thing and to others who need this kind of thing. And third is if you keep doing it, okay, and you keep observing, just like I was suggesting to Janaki earlier, keep observing who is getting most helped by it and who you're most loving working with. You'll start getting clearer and clearer about the ideal client, the niche, and as you make more connections in this field, you'll start seeing, oh, who's making money doing it and who's not. And how are they, the ones who are making money doing it, how are they making money doing it?
Right.
So,
right.
So I think that my sense about it is that, now how long have you been doing this work of holding powerful conversations?
Well, I've been doing it for over 10 years, but it's only been the last, like, 4 years that I decided to be more intentional about doing it or creating opportunities. So,
last 2 years, you said?
Please?
Last 2 years, you said?
Probably the last 3 or 4 years.
Last 3 or 4 years, okay, great.
I've become intentional about creating opportunities for me to hold conversations.
Ah, okay.
So, like a meetup.
Ah, okay, great. Yes, now I think you've done it long enough to start charging for it.
Yeah, I think I have too, and I think the universe is trying to tell me that. We host a monthly call, and I've been doing that for 4 years.
Oh, wow, wow, okay.
And we have
That's a lot of commitment.
Loyal people that show up for the call, and they're bringing people to the call.
Okay.
And I feel like a friend of mine said to me that I can't keep giving without allowing them to give back to me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so here's the challenge of it is that they are now used to that format with you being free. Okay.
Right.
And so 4 years is a long time to get used to something, you know, or not that they're all there.
They've not all been there for 4 years.
Right, exactly. So, but you know, even a year, let's say. So here's what I would suggest. I would suggest creating a separate offer and charging for that. So you can still keep doing your monthly for now, but create a separate offer. So maybe the separate offer would be a smaller group of people, or maybe you include some one-to-one coaching or consulting with it, or maybe you include some kind of facilitation to kind of pair people up for power, or pair a group up. So kind of, can you imagine creating something with different features?
Yeah, I've been brainstorming. I've been playing with creating what I call conversation cards, but I haven't quite moved to action. We've created our own internal manual that we use, so I think I could turn that into a product.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that we could host paid events.
Yes, exactly.
I'd always do this 75-minute call for free.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could see the 75-minute call really as, one, your public service, and two, your marketing.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. But yeah, start creating a separate offer and start offering it to the people who are coming to the calls and to everyone else who's ever come and ever been interested in this. Yeah, I'm excited to see what offer you put together. The other thing about your question is about pricing, setting the fee. I have a whole video about that, so I'll make sure to include that in our in the comment underneath your question later.
Okay.
But basically, it goes like this: you determine how much you need to or want to earn from this work at this time, and this time could be the next 6 months, the next 12 months. And then you say, well, out of this amount of money, how many am I likely to enroll in the next 6 or 12 months or whatever?
Okay.
And then you more or less divide the amount to say, if I'm likely to enroll 20 people in the next 12 months and I want to earn, you know, $10,000 from this for now, then that's what, $500, right? Yeah, $500 a person. And then if it's $500 a person over 12 months, they can either do a single pay or you can create a payment plan that is $50 a month. if they want to do $50 a month, or you can do a single pay of $500 to save 2 months fees.
Okay.
That's an idea.
Okay.
Helpful?
All right. Well, I'll look for the link, and yes, that's all been very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
All right. So now I mute myself, right?
Okay. Yes, sure. Thank you. All right. Zuzka, I'd love to bring you on now. Hello. I'll let you unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
And you want to? I can read the question, or you can.
Sure.
Say
Yeah. I guess I'll just read it. So, do you ever deal with responses to your content that are kind of yeah, but or argumentative? And if so, how do you respond?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, or that's?
I guess, as I think about the kind of content that I want to create, I know one of the things that I'm going to do is post it on my personal Facebook page, right? And I think one of the things that's really nice about the community that I've been getting information through about your calls is that it seems like there are people who are kind of handpicking themselves to want to hear, what you have to say.
Yeah.
But I know, like. In my broader Facebook friends, there are definitely going to be people who are like, well, but,
Yeah,
right. Maybe, yeah. And so I guess I'm wondering if you get those kind of responses and how you respond to that, and how much energy you put into, kind of like this, of kind of responding to that versus just kind of letting it go by.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really good question. Yeah, I think that I've been really, really lucky to, like you said, have created this audience that are just very supportive, and I almost never get any yeah buts or arguments, and I think that I do sometimes though, and I actually really welcome that. I welcome people to challenge me and say, well, what about that? What about this? Because that makes me smarter to say, well, yeah, you know what, that's a good point. I think I kind of I'm lucky to have kind of grown up with this mindset of, the world is the truth about the world. The truth about the world. It's like a mosaic. I have one piece of the truth, which is my life experience, but so do you, and your life experience and truth is as valid, and we need to somehow piece this together to see the broader truth. And all of us have this mosaic piece that creates this mosaic of truth. And so I think one is, first of all, coming from that perspective in your content whenever possible. Now, the downside of it is whenever I find that whenever I sound really certain, my content seems to do better. Because people love certainty. Like, they love someone to hold them by the hand and say, this is the truth, let me show you black and white. But the thing is that you can still phrase it in a way to say, this is what I know. This is what seems absolutely true to me. And based on this research, if you have outside research, say, based on this study, that study, this study, this is what seems to be true. I welcome your thoughts. So if you frame the whole thing, especially, I know that there are probably some things you're going to post that probably is not going to, it's not going to get much argument because it's, probably get broad agreement. But there are some things that are probably going to be controversial. And for the controversial things, frame the whole thing in a way that says, this is what I see. Now it's your turn. What do you see? And so if you frame the conversation in a way that's kind of like you're like really flexible, then when the wind pushes back, you're just flexible. You won't break. Where some people are so certain that, and I just saw this the other day on someone's blog post, they were so certain about something, and then someone came in, even with a very light, very friendly, say, well, this is my experience and it's different from yours, and they didn't know what to say because it made them look bad, their blog post. And so that's one thing. But the other thing is, yes, I have gotten people who have been negative, for lack of a better word, there are people who are respectful but disagreeing. Yeah. And I think that's a healthy debate. I think probably, I imagine the majority of your responses are going to be positive, especially if you post it on your own social channels. And then there's going to be, maybe 10%, 20% maybe, especially if it's controversial, that are respectful but disagreeing with it. Okay. And then there's the 10% that are disrespectful or just kind of curt and kind of rude a little bit and disagreeing with it, right? And so for the people who are respectful and disagreeing, that's when you take your time to respond to it. And this is key. Like, don't feel like you have to, like they commented, I haven't responded yet today. No, just take your time. And you might even, here's the way I say it. I'd say, that's a really good point. Let me think about, let me sleep on this, and I'll comment later. That's a really nice way to give yourself time. Sleeping on it doesn't mean you're going to respond the next day. It can be in like 2 weeks later. And then there are the people who are really curt and maybe rude. And those people, honestly, what I do is I just kind of leave it. I leave it because chances are sometimes some people will come to my support and comment on what those rude people said. But chances are also sometimes people, no one says anything about that, and the best way to let a bad comment die is to not comment on it. And that's actually, this is what I heard from like best-selling authors like Seth Godin and people like that. They say, if you don't want something to be seen, if you want a bad review or whatever, starve it of oxygen. Okay, like don't give it any air. Don't give it any of your air, and it'll just be buried. So is that helpful, or can you imagine doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think, is it okay if I ask kind of like one follow-up?
Yeah, sure, of course.
I think the scenario that I'm thinking of specifically is, if something is just kind of vitriolic or negative, it's easy to go like, clearly this is about something else for this person, right? Because usually, like, if it's about a topic, like, there is that kind of respect. But then there's the kind of, and then there's like the respectful, like, I've had a different experience, like, let's talk about that. But the ones that I have, like that I'm looking for kind of a way to think about is when someone wants to come in and kind of be intellectual about something, they've already made up their minds that you're wrong, right? Yeah. And they just kind of want to like post long responses, like their own links from their own, ideology about why it's wrong. And so it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm a smart person. I don't want to be baited into this argument where, like I've been exposed to it. I kind of understand what that's about. I don't agree with it.
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm wondering if you've had that experience and kind of, if you've dealt with that at all.
Yeah. I have dealt with it a little bit, but I've also seen other people deal with it, and there's basically two responses. One is I've seen people who just very painstakingly go point by point into what the person is saying, and sometimes I've actually seen that there's a resolution. They're like, oh, if the person is truly intellectually honest, and you have to really confront people with that sometimes. Say, you know what, just be honest here. Have you read what I just wrote? And what do you think about this particular study or this particular point? I mean, sometimes that can just, they just don't respond because they don't want to look bad because they haven't read that study or whatever. So some people just kind of go in point by point like that, and other people just don't respond, and they continue, guess what, creating content that is from their point of view. And guess what, it's not that they totally ignore, they just say, okay, I'm aware that is an objection.
Sure.
And if you want to be kind about it, and if the person is being respectful, you can say, you know what, really good points, definitely food for thought. That's like, if you comment really briefly, say, hey, food for thought. I'll take this into further further consideration.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for that great question. And I really welcome others here who have any thoughts on that to comment on what Zuzka wrote. And her name on the comments area is Zuzana Zilkova. So, all right, let's go to the next question, and it's from Laura. And I know Laura's webcam isn't working, so I'll just kind of read her question here. Laura says, do you recommend a client agreement or contract when working one-to-one with your clients? Really good question. A lot of my clients are also coaches and consultants, And I've seen it work both ways. I've seen some of my clients are really clear with their clients about, okay, you got to sign this agreement. You got to show up on time. You got to make your payments on time. You've got to, agree to do the homework that we assign and all that stuff. And they do well with it. I mean, my answer is, if it's working well, keep doing it. But if you're wondering, well, should I even start doing it? My suggestion is, if you don't have to have an agreement, don't, and see how it goes first. I've been doing this. I've been doing one-to-one coaching for 2 years. I've sold programs for 7 years, done group coaching for 7 years, but I've only done one-to-one for 2 years. And I think up to now I'm at about getting close to 100 one-to-one clients. No contract, no agreement. Not, definitely no contract assigned to say, you're legally obligated to something, but not even no agreements about showing up on time or anything. And what I find surprising is, this entire time, just about everyone, like 99% of my sessions, are on time. I mean, within a 2 or 3 minute, buffer period. And so I'm just really surprised. And personally, I've never loved contracts or agreements myself, and that's basically my bias, and that's why I don't make my clients sign anything either. But try that first, and if you find that your clients continually disregard a particular principle that you find to be really important, then I think it's time to have an agreement. You don't have to make it a legal binding contract, but just say this is a client agreement. And just make your client agreements as brief as possible, because the briefer it is, the more powerful whatever point it is you're trying to make, right? So if you find your clients disregarding showing up on time, then have a client agreement in the beginning to say, I agree to show up on time or make payments on time for certain things. Now, when it comes to payments on time, you can solve that problem by using PayPal subscription. So if you have a PayPal account, most of us do, when you can use the PayPal account, convert your PayPal account into a business account. It's still free. I have a free PayPal business account, and in the PayPal business account, you can do what's called create a PayPal buy button. When you create a buy button, there's an option. Instead of buy now, you can make it subscription. It's still free. Don't use their installment plan option. Don't use their billing plan option. Use our subscription option because it's free. And if you create a subscription button, you're charging your client X dollars per month for a certain number of months, for example. You can then give them the link to that PayPal button so that their payment is automatically taken out by PayPal, so that you don't have to say, well, how come you didn't pay on time this month or something like that, or having to chase them down. So please use a PayPal subscribe button so that you don't have to worry about the payments being on time. In terms of showing up on time, okay, actually you can also solve that problem by using scheduling software that automatically reminds your clients about things. So, gosh, I was just doing this research recently about this. YouCanBook.me, just Google it. YouCanBook.me is a software that is free, and it'll send reminders to your clients, email reminders, and the free tier includes email reminders. So I hope that's helpful, Laura. If any other questions, of course, comments or ask in our event page, and I'll do my best to answer. Actually, this is true for all of you. Any questions that come up for you that I didn't get to answer, you can go to our Facebook group, which is Our Highest Work. You just go to Facebook and search Our Highest Work. Join that Facebook group, and you can post your questions there. I answer questions there once a week. So there you go. Okay. Next question is with Chris, and Chris is on the video. So hey, Chris, feel free to unmute your line if you want, or I can read your question. It's up to you. Let's see here. Hey, Chris.
Hey. Can you hear me?
Good to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like one of those commercials.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Right.
I want to get serious in doing more photography and video shoots, and I feel like my skills are, pretty good, kind of okay. And so I guess my question is, do I need to watch more tutorials and try things out for free with clients, or should I just charge them while I'm still learning?
Yeah.
That's just kind of a general question, I guess.
Totally. Really good question, actually. I think this applies to all of us, whether it's art that we're doing, photography, marketing, transformation, business, coaching, personal development, everything. I'll tell you a secret. I'm still learning. And I'll tell you another secret. I never got any kind of training for coaching or for consulting or for business coaching, marketing coaching, consulting. Yes, I've bought programs before, but honestly, the programs I've bought, I've spent about, and this is not what I recommend, but I've spent about $30,000 over the 7 years, so it's about $30,000 buying programs of other people like me, because I was more like curious, like how are they doing it from the inside? And I'll tell you, most of the stuff they were doing, I'm like, it's not that good. I mean, it's just not that good. And so I really made up most of my content. I mean, most of my content is just made. Actually, it's funny because there's a certain power to naivete. There's a kind of fresh creative energy that happens when you disregard what everyone else says and just says, I think this seems to be right, and so I'm going to do it this way. I don't know if other people are doing it this way, but I'm going to do it this way. And I am betting, Chris, that you probably have some kind of intuition right now about what you think, I mean, the way you're doing it, that you think, hey, this seems pretty good. Am I right about that?
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think that if you have this intuition, I think you should start to charge for it. Now, the great thing is you don't have to charge a lot for it. Part of pricing is that we have to feel really good about our pricing. There's a balance to pricing. You have to balance between, okay, I think this is worth, what I'm charging is worth it. Okay, and the other side of that you need to balance is what are other people in the market, in your market, charging, and you can't lowball the market too much for two reasons. One is your competitors will get pissed at you.
Right.
Like, hey, you're ruining our whole industry by charging only $30 for a photo shoot or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You can't do that. But the second reason you can't lowball it is because the people that are paying you are going to say, well, I don't really know what should be charged for this kind of thing, and so if you're only charging $50 a photo shoot, it's probably not that good.
Right.
And so people judge your value, I mean, and your skills, unfortunately, based on what you're pricing yourself at. And so, what kind of between those two, like, what is the market charging right now, and what do you feel like you should be charging, and then slice it in the middle, and that's probably a good place to start. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I think totally you should go for it. Okay, also really important, with video and photos, okay, this is particularly for you, right? A lot of people, actually, who are your clients? Who are your ideal clients that you're looking for?
I'm looking to do like family portraits and I've done some family portraits and some senior portraits. On the side,
awesome.
I've charged a little bit, but it's not consistent and it's not a set price.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get more serious about it.
Right.
Yes,
exactly. So with that kind of with the family portraits and those kind, I mean, video and photos are so ubiquitous now on people's phones, right? That a lot of people feel like, well, let's just take our own photos or whatever. So I think what's helpful for photographers and videographers is to do a portfolio where you show the difference between what you do professionally and what's done casually. So, for example, do the same. Like, you can have a friend, like, a friend say, hey, pose for me. Okay, I'm just going to take a casual iPhone photo. Just, this is what it is. And then I'm going to take a professional one with my professional camera, and I'm going to do professional editing on that photo, and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison.
Right.
And that's going to be on my website. That's going to go out in my email newsletter. That's going to go out in my brochures or whatever, and people can see the difference. And when they see the difference, they see the value.
Right.
Is that helpful?
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah, and same thing with videography. It's like, okay, let me do a quick iPhone video. And all my videos are like really like casual. Let me do a quick iPhone video, and then now let me do another one, maybe similar scenery, and I'm going to edit that video and make it look really professional. And now you can see the difference.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for your question.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. And Janaki, I'm so sorry that the video seems to be replaying for you. I think that's probably maybe some technical glitch. After the session is over, then you'll be able to watch the session or fast forward to whatever you missed. So any of you who are experiencing that issue, you could try watching the replay later. Okay, I think I've answered all the questions that were posted. So if you have any other questions, we've got about 8 minutes left. What's business or marketing question that's coming up for you? I welcome you to come onto the video or post your question. And I see Pavel is here. Pavel, do you have anything you want to ask? Feel free to.
Okay.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
So I have a question about my software business.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I'm building software for coaches, and I have a couple of people interested. So I'm working with them and creating software. But I would like to get my marketing going and get some people, some clients. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have
absolutely.
any advice in that
Sure.
area?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and this I think is applicable to all of you. The easiest, or not, I shouldn't say the easiest, well, maybe it is the easiest. The way to get the most marketing, most clients in the shortest time is by partnering with someone who already has an audience that are your ideal clients. So Pavel, I would encourage you, and it sounds like you. So in Pavel's case, right, he would reach out to other people who have coach audiences. And actually, Pavel, I've got a friend of mine who has a magazine for coaches. So you can contact me offline, and I can see if it's appropriate to make that connection with him, because then that would be very appropriate for him. He actually regularly recommends software and things to his audience, and he takes commissions for that. So that's another something to know for when you contact a partner who has an audience of your ideal clients. You want to float the idea, see if they're interested in receiving commissions for introducing you to their audience. Like if any one of their audience buys from you, you pay a 10% commission to 50%. With software, it tends to be maybe a little bit higher, or with information products, it tends to be ebooks or video courses, it tends to be higher, up to 50%, sometimes even higher than that. For one-to-one services, then it's lower, more like 5 to 10%. So Pavel, have you tried approaching people who have audiences of coaches, and how did that go?
No, not yet, because I feel my software is not ready yet. It's I'm building airplane in a flight, sort of. So I don't feel it's ready for wide audience, but I feel I can still get some people one-on-one. So
yes, sure.
Start really, really, really small.
Okay. So then let me give you some suggestion then about getting more one-to-one beta clients.
Yes.
Use LinkedIn. So go onto LinkedIn, of course, update your profile on LinkedIn, and then go to groups that have coaches on LinkedIn. LinkedIn groups, all of you should look at this. Go to LinkedIn, and in LinkedIn, and let me actually show you on the screen, because I can with the software. I'll do a quick screen share to show you what to look for. Okay, let me see if I can show you here. Okay, so now you should see my LinkedIn screen, yeah?
Yes,
okay.
I can see.
On LinkedIn, when you make sure you update your profile, so go to profile and update that. But then once you do that, hover over interests and click on groups. No, actually, no. Even easier. Go right here in the search for people section, and that's actually one of my clients. and search the type of client you are looking to reach. So for Pavel, it would be coaches. Okay, and then once you search coaches, right, click on the search icon here, and then once you do that, click on groups on the left. And here's what you look for. Look at this. This is coaches, 41,000 members. Okay. Now, of course, doesn't mean that all 41,000 are coaches or your ideal clients, but probably 80% are. So that's a really big group. So I would encourage you to join the group and see it. And I'm already a member, so I'm already part of the group. And what you want to see is you want to see what the rules of the group are. So click on About. Okay. And then see what this group. Okay. It doesn't have any group rules. Okay. On the right-hand side, you see on the right-hand side, click on Group Rules. And then read this first, okay? So read it first, and basically, typically groups do not allow, and then the other way to find out what's allowed is to, this is actually the group owner, and you probably should see, who the group owner is. When you click on About, you'll see on the right-hand side, oh, EB Sabat. Okay, so that's the group owner, and the manager is Ida. Just so kind of look for those names when you go to the discussion area. And then here in the discussion area, you can see sort by recent. Okay, recent discussions. Yes, recent discussion, and then see what has been allowed through. So 3 hours ago, this person clicked on. So click on this to see what the entire discussion is. Okay, there's nothing else. That's all the person said. Okay, and then. Another one, okay, so free Coursera, blah, 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 okay, 4 hours ago. And so scroll down and see, actually you want to see something that's at least a day or two ago to see what was allowed, okay, so I'm curious what advice would you give yourself 5 years ago. So questions are usually very welcome in groups. What else here, what else? Okay, quotations, questions. I'm looking for a type of coach. That's a question, basically. Be happy, be you, poem. Okay, so basically, I don't see anything that's a promotion. Okay, I'm looking for. Okay, so this is sort of like they're trying to give people some promotional opportunity here. Be informed. Okay, quick quiz for a bit of fun. So basically, it seems like promotions are not allowed here. You see this? You see there's no promotion here, right? So what you could do, though, is you could phrase your promotion as a benefit instead of a promotion. So for you, the benefit would be, I'm looking to offer a software free of charge, specifically for coaches who are wanting to, and you talk about the benefit. The software is typically going to be this much money, but right now I'm going to give it free of charge, and you can use it for a whole year. And I'm only looking for 10 coaches for this, or something like this. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
So try that, and post that in several LinkedIn groups, and see what the response is. And when you're ready to share this wider, connect with the LinkedIn group owners, because those are potential partners for you as well. Yeah?
Fantastic.
All right.
Great
excellent.
advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pavel. Thanks for being here. So, all right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the session. I always welcome your questions in our free Facebook group, Our Highest Work. I do have a quick favor to ask. I am in the process of creating my new website, and I always appreciate getting reviews about my work. I mean, I know some of you may be clients, some of you are just audience members. I welcome you both. But whatever you know of me, whatever you work, whatever benefit you receive from my content, whatever, I love to get a review if you care to do that kind of thing. And the way to do the review is to go to my Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/GeorgeCowCommunity. And when you go to my Facebook fan page, on the left-hand side, you'll see the reviews area, and you can click on reviews and say something. I actually prefer shorter reviews because something that's maybe just anywhere between maybe 2 to 3 sentences. anything you want to say that you think people, if they read that review, they would be interested in checking out my content or coming to one of these group coaching calls. Always appreciate that. So with that, I really wish you an amazing rest of the week. We're just on a Monday here. And remember always that you are taken care of. By the universe, you are taken care of in ways that you cannot imagine. And so as long as you continue to move forward with care and service and also self-care, okay, don't forget self-care and balance and self-compassion, but keep being compassionate and in service to yourself and to the people that you want to serve, things will work out beautifully. So with that, have a wonderful rest of the day and rest of the week. Be well.